Hey guys, now the first step to building and running Python programs is going to be to set up an environment that will allow us to do so easily. There's lots of ways we can go about doing this, and Mac actually provides a built-in version of Python, which we can then combine with any kind of a text editor and run through the terminal. However, we're going to do things differently. We're actually going to download a nice IDE called PyCharm, which will allow us to build and run our Python projects with ease in one nice interface. Okay, so we're going to go and open up a new window of Chrome or whichever browser you're currently using, and I'm just going to search up PyCharm download. Now I actually already have, this is going to be the first link by the way, I actually already have PyCharm and the latest versions of Python downloaded, so I'll just walk you through the steps rather than fully downloading and installing it myself. So we're going to go ahead and choose the Community Edition rather than the Professional one, as the Professional one's just a free trial. So go ahead and open that up. It's just going to start the download. And yeah, like I said, I already have the latest version of PyCharm and the latest version of Python, so I'll just show you how to do these. So with the DMG file downloaded, we're just going to go ahead and open this guy up. Okay, it's just going to open it and verify it, make sure everything's good. And assuming it is, we can simply drag and drop it from its current location to our applications folder. I think mine saves to the desktop, so if this window doesn't pop up, find out where it's saved, and then just drag and drop it into applications. Like I said, mine is already there, so I'm not going to go through with that step. Again, you want to probably make sure you have the latest version of Python downloaded. So if we go to Python downloads, okay, and then select the first link, it's just going to provide us the ability to download the latest version of Python. Now, I think the automatic version is 2.7, but I'm going to be using 3.6.2 because this is going to provide us all the latest tools. So let's go ahead and download that. And it's just going to take a second. We'll again open up this package. And now basically this will open up the Python installer here. We'll just click continue. Continue again, agree with that, assuming that of course you have read it. We'll provide probably the default install location. If you really want to customize things, then change your install location by clicking on this, but make sure you know exactly where it will install. And then we'll just go ahead and click install. But like I said, mine is actually already installed, so I'm not going to go through that step. So at this point, you probably want to pause the video until you finish installing this. Should only take a few minutes, so I'm going to assume that at this point you have it installed, you have PyCharm installed, and you have Python 3.6.2, so that we have all the latest stuff here. So just going to exit out of that, going to exit out of Chrome, and now we're going to go ahead and open up a new window of PyCharm, so should be in your applications there. And again, I can actually go ahead and get rid of that. So Community Edition 2017.2 should be the one that we'll be using. And this is just the new project window. So as you can see, any previous projects we've done will be on the left here. It gives us the option to open an existing project, check out from version control, or just create a new project. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new one. We'll have to provide a custom location for this. So if you want to choose something differently, then click on this and find somewhere to save that. I'm going to actually choose a different location here. So as you can see, chose a custom location there. We want the correct interpreter, and this is why I said it's important to remember exactly where Python is going to be installed. As you can see, versions 3.6, make sure you do have that particular version added. Worst case scenario, we can actually change this later on, but best to do it at this step. So with that done, we can go ahead and press create. And by the way, navigate to your correct Python version folder. As you can see, I got 2.7 and 6 as options too. Okay, so with that there, we'll create. And this will just open up a brand new project for us. Okay, so this is basically the welcome screen. Typically it shows you some tips. You can actually unselect that if you don't want to be shown the tips anymore, but it's always a good idea to have those tips be displayed. They're usually pretty useful. Okay, so with the installation complete and a new window of PyCharm open, I'm going to end this section here, and coming up right away, we're just going to share the IDE a little bit, so walk through what windows represent what, how to create files, and how to find the stuff that we need, and just generally get familiar with this particular IDE. Like I said, it's really similar to Android Studio. It's done by the same people, so if you're really familiar with Android Studio, or even Eclipse, then you should be quite familiar with this as well. Hey guys, hopefully you downloaded and installed PyCharm and the newest versions of Python correctly, so we can go ahead and get started by learning a bit more about the PyCharm IDE, so where to find the things we need, how to create new Python files, and stuff like that. So, assuming that you just started a new project, you hadn't had any existing ones already, this is what your main interface should look like right now. We have this window open on the left, and this main window in the center. So this one on the left just represents our project structure. We can open and close that by clicking on this here, and basically just provides us a list of all the current files within this particular project. There shouldn't really be any apart from our external libraries, as we haven't created any yet. Now at the bottom, you may or may not have a window open. If you do, then you can close it just by clicking on its respective tag here. So we have stuff like the console, which will be a way to print messages out as well as take data in. We have the terminal, which basically runs like a regular instance of the terminal as you would with a Mac. And then we have a to-do list, which we don't have any to-do items yet, so that's why this is empty. Additionally, you can open up this window on the right, which provides a data view, but we won't often use that. This has to do with the debugger. Now, you can move stuff around if you want. So, for example, let's say I want to display my Python console on the right-hand window, or on the left-hand window, or on the right-hand window. I can absolutely move it right into place. So now I can open up my Python console over here. Now, I have my menu hidden automatically up top, but it's probably going to be visible for you if you don't have it auto hide. So we're just going to explore this quickly. If we click on the PyCharm Community Edition, this has all the information and options that help you customize PyCharm itself. So we can go to preferences, we can change stuff like the appearance and behavior, we can change the editor stuff itself, how the editor works. We'll often go to our plugins folder here to download and install extra plugins. And that will give us access to extra frameworks and extra tools. As well, we can go to our project here, Python Basics, and if we open up our project interpreter, we can change a different version of Python we're going to be using by clicking on this. So, like I said, you do want to generally use the latest version. I'm going to be using 3.6.2, so if you're using an earlier version, some of the tools that I use may or may not be available to you. So that's kind of all you need to know from here. We'll click OK. And let's just switch back to this. So as you can see, there'll be a variety of menus, and these give us access to all the different components of either your project or PyCharm or Python itself. Now, likely we'll only be exploring these when we need to open stuff up. Like, for example, we need access to the tools, we need access to the run configurations, and so on and so forth. But otherwise, give these menus a test run yourselves, check things out, see where things are, become familiar with your IDE. So now we're going to take a quick look at how to create a very simple Python program and basically start off by creating a new Python file. So we're going to click on our main folder here. Additionally, you can go to File, New, and I'm just going to right-click, New File. Okay. Additionally, we can actually choose a Python file itself. Okay, so why don't we do that? Python file, and we'll just give this a name. We can call this something like new file. We'll click OK, and this will create a new file.py, which is the Python extension, and it tells the compiler that this is going to be a Python file and not just a regular text file. Alternatively, again, you could create just a new random file, enter in a name, and then put .py at the end to save it as a Python file. Now, Python is an extremely flexible and versatile language, so realistically, if we wanted to print something to the console, which is all we're going to do now, it would just be as simple as saying something like print, and then in the quotations, we could say something like hello. Now, if we wanted to run this program, what we would do, seeing as the run option is not available just yet, is to go to our menu. We're going to go to the run drop-down, and we're going to click on this run. Okay, not the first one, but the second one, and we're just going to choose a new file to be the one that we want to run. So as you can see, this will have run our program. We'll get the run window down here. We can put it up here if we want, and as you can see, hello gets printed out. Alright, so that's really all you need to know to get started, is basically how to create programs on Python files, how to run them. Now you can see that this run option is available. Additionally, you can go to run and just click on this run here, or you can you can use this hotkey as well. Okay, so play around with your IDE a little bit, get to know it, explore some of these menus, some of the options within them, and we'll start in